Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Baxter and I'm a developer advocate for codename Bluemix at IBM. And today I'd just like to give you a quick demonstration of a new sample application we have posted out to GitHub in the codename Bluemix organization. It's called BlueChatter, and BlueChatter is a very simple application. It's a chat or IRC type of application that runs in your web browser that you can used to chat between multiple people, any number of people actually. And while it's not something that you probably use every day, it is a good demonstration of how to deal with scaling and scaling your applications in Bluemix and how you can take advantage of services to deal with scaling your application in Bluemix. So I'd like to give you a quick tutorial of how to use the application and show you what it's all about. So the first thing we need to do is to clone the Git repo. So let's just copy the URL here to the Git repo, and we'll open our terminal window, and we'll just do a git clone to the Git repo. Okay, and the repo is finished cloning, so let's just cd into the BlueChatter directory here. And if we take a look back in the README for the repository on GitHub, we can see very simple instructions on how to deploy the application to Bluemix to test it out. So after we've cloned it, we just need to make sure we've logged in using the cf command login to Bluemix. So let's just make sure we're logged in. So we'll do cf login -a and the API endpoint to Bluemix, which is api.ng.bluemix.net. And it'll ask you for your username, so enter your IBM ID and your password. And once you've logged in, you can now start deploying the application. So we're logged in, and the next thing we need to do is actually deploy, create an instance of the Redis service to use for the applications. Now it's very important that we execute this command exactly. It's expecting the service to be called Redis Chatter, so we need to make sure that we execute this and create a Redis service with the name Redis Chatter. So we'll just copy this command into our terminal window and execute that. And we can see now we have our Redis Chatter service has been created. So now we can actually go ahead and deploy to Bluemix. So we've already cloned the repo, we've already cd'd into the directory, and now we just need to push the application to Bluemix. So the push command is very simple. That's because this application is using a manifest file, so the push is relatively simple. Okay, we can see that the application has now started and is up and running in Bluemix, so we're just going to navigate to this URL and show you what it's all about. But let's do that in a different browser for now. Let's open up Chrome here, and we'll go to this URL here. And let's actually open up a few different browsers here. So we'll open up Safari as well and go to the application. And let's also open up iOS, an iOS device, a mobile device, and head to the application as well. Okay, so it first asks you for a username. You could pick whatever name you want. It doesn't necessarily have to be unique, but you can pick whatever name you want. So I'm going to enter Ryan in Safari here, John in Chrome, and Bob in iOS here. Okay, so now you can start typing. So let's see who's around. Say, is anyone there? And we can see that as you type, users type messages, they instantly show up in the various browsers on the various devices. So no matter what browser you're using or what platform you're on, if you're on iOS or an Android device, everything will work. So you can type your messages and everything shows up instantly. So the way this is working is that actually the BlueChatter application is using what's called long polling. So it's sending a request to the server. The server is holding on to that request until there is a message that comes across from another client, and then once a message is received, it will respond to that request with the message, and then it shows up in your client. So it's pretty simple application, and it's pretty actually implemented in Node, which makes long polling pretty easy to implement. So that's why we chose to do it in Node. But as I said, this application is really about scaling, right? And the demonstration is really about showing you how to scale. So as we know, when we scale applications in Cloud Foundry or in Bluemix, what it means to scale an application is to actually create multiple instances of the application. And you typically want to do this when there's this heavy load on your application. You have a ton of users hitting the application, and one instance just isn't going to do. You want to create multiple instances of it running at the same time. But in that case, how do we control the messaging, right? So if we have one user on instance 1 and another user on instance 2 and another user on instance 3, and they're all typing messages, how do the different instances of the application know the messages that are being typed and sent? And this is where the Redis service comes in. The Redis service there's a single Redis service that all the instances will be using, and it has a nice pub sub feature so that when one server publishes a message, the other services will instantly get that message and then can send that message back to their clients. So as a convenience to demonstrate this, you can see at the bottom we have the application displays the instance ID. So this is the unique ID of the instance of the application that the client has connected to. So let's go ahead and scale the BlueChatter application. So we can easily do this with the cf scale command. So we can do cf scale the application name, which is BlueChatter, and -I to represent the number of instances, and let's scale it up to 10 instances just to see what happens. So we'll execute this command, and in a matter of moments we'll have 10 instances of our application up and running. So that's done, and we can check the status of all the instances by executing a cf app and then typing in the name of the application. And we see we now have instance 0 through 9 running. They're all up and running. So now if we refresh in our browsers here, we can try to connect to different instances. So we refresh and we can see we have instance ID A43 here. In Safari, in Chrome, we have instance ID EF6, so that's 2 different instances. And in iOS, we'll refresh, and we have 31F. So each client is now talking to a different server instance. So let's try our demo again. I'll try to log in as Ryan here, and John here, and Bob here. And let's try sending those messages. And we can see, even though they're all using different instances, that messages are coming across, and you can send and receive messages from each client instantly. And this again is taking advantage of the Redis service to do this. So that's just a quick demonstration of how to use the application and and what it does and what it's trying to demonstrate. So I hope you find it useful, and you can use services like the Redis service in your applications as well. Thanks.